chat. All right, everybody, we're going live. We should be live right now. That's the private chat. Where is the regular chat? That's interesting. Usually it's up here. But so anyway, guys, listen, it's been a minute since I got on here, and we talked a little bit about this incredible situation that occurred last week. I stayed silent for a week, right? I've been just kind of keeping a low profile, but now we got to talk about it. Now we got to talk about what just happened last week, what I think is going to happen, what's going to keep happening. I mean, first and foremost, what a victory, what a relief. So many of us, I don't understand. It's so unfounded. You see what the fake news media has done, the legacy media has done, just winding everybody up, just absolutely gaslighting everybody with the most insane nonsense. Trump being a dictator, Trump being a fascist, Trump being Hitler, Trump's going to take away your rights. Meanwhile, the guy's already been president for 4 years. None of that happened, but no one cares. It's just straight pandemonium. What they did to these people is absolutely insane. This news media should be embarrassed. I hope, you guys are seeing this all over the place. CNN, MSNBC are riding their ratings into the ground. It's absolutely epic. It's incredible to see the destruction of these complete liars, cheaters, and thieves, what they've done, how they have brainwashed and absolutely just, destroyed any iota of fair and balanced coverage, any iota of giving people the actual facts, letting them decide for themselves. It's just unbelievable what we witnessed. Now, again, it's also the reason that you saw a complete blowout. And let me tell you something. Listen, people are writing me crazy about, what am I going to do about the, stuff here in Nevada? First of all, I don't know what happened. I know that I know this. I know ballot harvesting is legal in Nevada. I know that I purposely made sure that I didn't get any or tried to not get any mail-in ballots. I know I got 2 to my house and 2 to my my law office. I know these things can be harvested and used. I don't care what anyone says. Why did it just take a week out here? Why did the votes change so much? And I don't know. I just don't think that mail-in ballots should be used ever again. They should be gone right now. There should be no ballot harvesting. Maybe the Democrats are just better at playing the game. I don't know. I know they have a plan. I know with the unions. I know with the culinary, union. I know that they have the ability to get their hands on the ballots. I know it's lawful in the state until we get this voter ID that just passed, obviously on the next one. And I hope the governor eventually says enough's enough and we get rid of mail-in ballots. I hope he does it with executive order. We don't need them. They've been proven to be not credible, not accurate, not necessary. Again, you can't have these things being sent everywhere. I just think it's bad. I think it's a recipe for disaster. There's all kinds of other things we've seen where Kamala Harris didn't win any of the states that had voter ID, won all the states without voter ID. It's just crazy. So again, but let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this. So what happened on Tuesday night last week, was just something for the ages. Some of us woke up the next morning a little hesitant, suspicious. Are they going to steal it from our president too? Like we saw happen last time. I don't care what anyone says. There's 15 to like 18 million votes missing. All right. At least 15 right off the top. No one, where did they go? Where did the votes go? So you're really trying to tell me that everybody else, starting with Obama, the Bushes, everyone in the 59 to 65 million range, and then Joe Biden goes to 81, then the next year it drops back to 66. Maybe it'll hit near 70. I don't know when it's all said and done. But there's just no way. Everybody knows anybody with a brain knows. They use the mail-in ballots. They saw what everyone was up. They knew what they had to do. They brought them in and they stole the election. That's what they did. Right? I'll always say that. I will never not say that. You can never convince me otherwise. And that's just where I'm at. But why did we just get the blowout that we just got on Tuesday night last week? Because the American people are done being lied to. The American people, no matter what, there's a few of us that stood up from the very beginning against the nonsense with the masks, against the nonsense with closing our businesses, closing our kids' schools, closing their sports. We had the highest suicide rates per capita in the nation here in Nevada. Fact. Okay. So some of us didn't sit on the sidelines. Okay. The shit I created for myself. Okay. The probably problems I made for myself, the business I lost. You got to imagine offending at least half of the state, probably more, because at that time you had a lot of people just scared, Republicans, independents that were just like, God, this Joey Gilbert's going really, really hard about COVID's bullshit, and COVID's like the flu. And, you guys remember how hard I was going May, June, July 2020. It was all nonsense. The death rate had dropped by 86%. Someone come and try to tell me I was lying. The death rate, let's just be safe, had dropped by 80% in Northern Nevada by May 2020. No one wanted to hear it. I brought data back from, Joe Latipo in Florida. I brought this data back to our people here. Governor's task force didn't care. That jerk off down at the city of Reno, who was that guy? Kevin Dick. Washoe County. That health officer didn't care. None of these people cared. It was all agenda-driven nonsense. I don't care what anybody says. I think everyone knew, at least the Democrats knew, and I don't care what anyone says. They're smarter at this stuff. They work as a team better. Well, up until this year, the Democrats have always had the upper hand, organize better, fight better. They still do one thing better than the Republicans do, and will do it until the Republicans get off their high horses and get their, the sticks out of their asses. And that's, they fight as a team better. They link arms and they take us in the street and they beat our asses. That's what they do. Okay. And we've got to do better and be better organized, better together, and get each other's backs to win. But I digress. What happened on Tuesday of last week is the American people said enough is enough. You want to know what they really rejected? Okay. First of all, people are absolutely concerned with the economy, but you saw the crazies on the legacy fake news media, okay, on MSNBC and all that, the Joy Reids, I'll pay for higher gas to save my country, okay? But then it came something else, all right? People were going to, I guess, I don't really believe it for a second. I know the everyday working man and woman was like, I'm not paying more for groceries and whatever, just to elect somebody that has no idea what they're doing, just as a feel-good vote. And that's what Kamala Harris would have been. She would have been a DEI, okay, check. I'm sorry. I would love to see a woman president, just not that one. I would love to see Tulsi Gabbard, who just got nominated, would be a phenomenal president. Okay, I'll name some people here. Guys would freak out, but I think they'd be Candace Owens. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that I think be a great first president, just not that person. Okay, she was an absolute disaster, a train wreck, and they tried to shove it down everybody's throat. They tried to bully you. They tried to berate you. They tried to disrespect you and do everything they could to make you vote for someone who is totally unqualified, totally incapable, and the worst candidate they've ever run. That's why she was polling at 1% nearly 4 years ago. Okay, but I want to tell you something, guys. I was stoked to see President Trump jamming these ads down everybody's throat about they're not for you, they're for the they, thems, right? Because anybody now, and this is the beauty of what happened Tuesdays, it's out. We're done. We're done with the unlimited genders now, guys. You don't have to do it anymore. We're done with the pronouns. You can look at them and laugh in their faces. More than the majority of the country, not just the popular vote, because there's still lots of people that agree that didn't vote, are done with it. What this Tuesday was the ability, listen, we're not going to pick on it. This is where they go crazy. No one's unaliving anybody. No one's going to try and kill them or take anybody's rights away or hurt them in any way. We don't give a shit. Here's the best part. We don't care. Do you? Do you? You do whatever, and you do whoever you want to do. I don't need to know about it. My kids don't need to know about it. You don't need to teach it in the schools or in the libraries. So what I hope we see go bye-bye, the drag show story hour, okay, drag queen story hour, that was voted out. Unlimited genders was voted out. Pronouns were voted out. But you want to know, for me as a guy, what I'm most excited about? Men don't have to have babies anymore. Men don't have to get pregnant. We don't have to have tampons in the men's room to stick what up our butt? What are they in there for? Okay. It's just insane. Okay. It doesn't occur. There's not someone that needs a tampon in the men's room, period, unless it's going up their butt. Do I need to say anything else? So what got overwhelmingly voted down and out of just all this nonsense is that whole woke agenda. My God, Donald Trump got a mandate. He's going to get rid of all these idiots in the military. You're going to see companies now that they got a leader at the top, because all Trump did, and you know what? Someone was explaining this the other night. I heard it, and they were saying that I think it was Pete Hegseth who's going to be our new SecDef. Okay, Secretary of Defense, for those that don't know. All right, Secretary of War, otherwise known. So he was saying that Donald Trump was the first person in a long time as a Republican to, when they're in a threat scenario and the guns are pointing down at them, instead of taking cover and hope you get out of it, Donald Trump pulled the pins, tossed the grenades, and started fighting and shooting his way out, right? And that's what Republicans did. On Tuesday, for the first time in a while, independents, everyday people came together and said, we're done with this. We've been taking incoming fire from these completely deranged crazies, unhinged nut jobs. We're done. And everyday folks fought back. Okay, we're talking in a figurative sense. We got to say this these days now because people will try and put words in my mouth. I'm not saying anything of violence. I'm just saying we had enough moms. The moms, overwhelmingly, okay, all women, all right, I understand this. And most importantly, our Latino brothers and sisters. And this is where the Democrats are going to fail so badly. First of all, you turn on the fake news media, they're right back to lecturing everybody. They're calling uneducated. They're actually saying that Latinos voted for Trump because they're misinformed and they're stupid. That's exactly what they said. On the other side, though, I know why, because a lot of them are best friends of mine, business partners, half my clientele, okay, half my office staff. You want to know what it is? They don't want to do the bullshit anymore, okay? They're God-fearing, family-oriented, hardworking, honest, good people that want safe schools, a good job, good paychecks, good insurance, okay, cheap prices on stuff, and no woke bullshit being jammed down their throats, okay? And they're very intelligent, but, notoriously, okay, or for the last, couple decades, they just sat quietly. They don't get involved in too much of this. But now they're coming out. And good luck, Democrat Party. Good luck trying to talk down to them after what you just did and what you said afterwards and are still saying, because I'll tell you something. I've been saying it for a decade. I've been saying it since 2014. I've been saying that that Latinos are going to become Republicans, and whether they're conservative, and they're going to trend in that direction in a major way. Because why? Okay, again, I already said this. Hardworking, family-oriented. And once they've made this money, these guys and girls have worked multiple jobs till they opened up their own company, and now they don't want to give their money away to lazy people and woke programs and social experiments and nonsense. They don't want to do it, okay? And abortion wasn't the number one issue to them that you tried to shove down their throats, all right? And again, while I may be overwhelmingly pro-life, I also believe that there's always going to be exceptions. The health of the mother, rape, incest. Or again, I got 3 sisters, Italian mother, my daughter, her mother, her 3 sisters, my mother-in-law. I'm not getting involved in that. I'm not going to tell a woman. But I damn sure want to see less fanfare and less, I guess, money and ads and all this stuff. So Planned Parenthood, while it does do some good stuff, overwhelmingly, I think 95% of their budget is towards abortion. I would love to see single women that need help, wanting to have a child, get the same kind of assistance, resources as ones that might want to make that decision. And I hope that decision becomes a lot less of a decision that they have to make because they're not being pushed, bullied, and directed into it. So we all have our own beliefs. I'm not going to get, I'm not going to stall up on this. I'm just saying that as a man who's Catholic, who believes in God, who loves Jesus, I am pro-life. And I would love to see abortion come down tons in this nation. And I hope it does. But I'm not going to make things illegal. And I live in a state where the people here overwhelmingly voted for it. But we want to see less and less of it. And I'd love for it. It's a horrific situation that goes on there. But again, no man should be telling a woman what they're going to do. All right. How about that? My body, my choice. I'm one of those. How am I a strong conservative man? Well, I'll tell you this. Up until Trump, my friends used to laugh at me all the time. I was liberal in terms of do what you want. I remember I opened up the dispensaries here. Okay. I'm a criminal defense attorney. Shit happens. People make mistakes. I've never been some square. I got friends across all divides. I want to help everybody. I love everybody. I just don't need anything shoved down my throat, my daughter's throat. Okay. And there sure as shit better not be any men in her locker room or trying to take her opportunity. That's me. But here's the kicker. Men across this country now, probably overwhelming the 75 to 80% range, agree with me. The big dog here, right? And the Latinos, forget about it, man. Forget about it. You try to talk to them about it. I mean, and I'm again not just talking Mexicans, right? I went to Colombia. I'm talking all people of that, okay, descent, right? And I'll talk about it this way. I don't give a damn because they're people and they do not like that being pushed as hard as it is. But the Democrats, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, just can't process that. So again, guys, I want to just lay down some stuff here. As I said, Donald Trump got a mandate to fix that border, to seal that border. And again, we love having people here. My firm does immigration law, people that are doing it the right way, the legal way, that have waited in line for years. I got friends, okay, that have family members here that have been going through the process for years. And all of a sudden now all these people jump in line. And even funnier, as crazy as this is, I got some friends, okay, that are very well off, okay, that had to leave the country illegally and came back through Mexico because of how broken this immigration system is. So it needs to be fixed. And I personally, and you know what, I'm sure I'll take shit from whoever. I personally think that Canada and Mexico should have a special thing. They should be able to come as long as documented, know who they are, what they're doing here. People should be. This is a human right in terms of family members coming back and forth doing business. But we need to know who you are, what you're doing here. All right. It has to go through some form of a legal process. Now, I think we need to stall that for a little bit, considering we have probably 12 to 20 million extra people in here. And we need to, get our arms around it, make sure they have housing and healthcare and education and all the basic services. Right. No one gives a shit about that when they pour over, because all they were thinking about, the Democrats, was replacing voters. And they absolutely were. It's all out there. It's all going to come out. They knew exactly what they were doing. That's why were they getting all these people to the swing states, okay, putting them on planes and buses. Only problem is Donald Trump and Laura Trump, for actually, to be completely fair, really put an army together. I got to be one of the Trump attorneys. I didn't have to do anything. My boss, so to speak, the main lady out of Vegas, I was a roving attorney. I never even really got a call except for some silly stuff at the library, spotted by another lawyer, Big D, Mr. Dion. So at the end of the day, we did our jobs. They did a fantastic job. Shayna here in Nevada, Laura, nationwide, everybody that pitched in, everybody that worked precincts and worked polling and did their job. And you know what? I voted right here at Somerset Town Center. Everybody was awesome, and that's how it should be. But at the end of the day, they absolutely were trying to flip swing states by bringing in illegal voters, and then, of course, they try to let people that are not citizens vote. It's just crazy. And so Big Daddy Trump's going to catch all this now. But before I get to the mandate, let's get some conspiracy stuff out there, because you all know I'm one of those until 6 months down the line when you say, oh, shit, he was right. So all the stuff that happened during the pandemic, you guys are seeing lawsuits are coming out every month, $12 million, $3 million from the people that sued. That was against the law. Mandates aren't laws. I said it over and over again. Got walked off an airplane for that. Almost got walked out of the airport in Burbank for refusing to put on a mask. But I was one of those true believers. I never wore a mask. I mean, just some of us, there's just some things we're not going to do, right? And I had to say, free men don't do that stuff, and mandates are laws. And I repeated that everywhere I went. And I got to give it to the law enforcement. No one ever took me into custody. I got some not so friendly dialogue and stuff, but I did what I had to do. But then let's talk about the business closures, and now we know Fauci made it up, okay? And I told everybody that. And the mask. I mean, if you're still, first of all, if you're still wearing a face diaper right now, I just saw the most horrific thing. I flew out to Texas and back. Some jackwagon family from Truckee, they had Truckee on the thing, husband and wife. Okay, you could see the husband has no balls, okay, totally emasculated. Wife is a typical liberal, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like the data's showing, 50% of liberal women have a mental health condition. Fact. Then go look at what they say if you've had one or two more doses of the vaccine. It adds like a 20, 30%. So you have literally unhinged psychopaths trying to direct healthcare for their family. These nut jobs had full, K95s on their little children. That is child abuse. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if you were a parent in a Washoe County school, okay, and you were forcing your kid to go to school in a mask, a teacher would have went to the principal's office. You would have got a visit. CPS would have showed up and said, you can't make your kid wear a mask. They don't do anything. And every piece of data is out there. So everything, guys like my father, smart, was a board certified physician, super smart guy, my hero. He was saying early on, son, there's more studies than you can shake a stick at that say that doesn't work, right? So I knew early on, dad had COVID. Everybody knows my story. Had the H word. You guys know what this is, right? Remember this? I just got to hold it up because they immediately censor my stuff. So you guys know what this hydroxy something. So I was the big proponent of that early on. And these little guys, everybody knows what this is, right? So I had the medication early on that could stop everything. And we got it everywhere. Did a lot of good stuff with that stuff. But I was calling this stuff out. The whole point of this is from the jump. I was saying social distancing is BS. Okay. The masks are BS. The kids being stuck home from school, BS. Out of their sports. Okay. All this stuff is super damaging. And you remember they closed the churches. Attorneys that I was involved with took it to the Ninth Circuit. The Nevada governor, old Stevie Sisolak, right? Had all Nevada churches ordered open 10 days before Christmas. December 15th, 2020. Fact. Okay. And that was because Pastor Jimmy Morales down in Las Vegas gave me a call, said, hey, I heard you're one of the few attorneys that'll sue the governor. I said, I heard you're one of the few pastors that'll be a plaintiff to sue the governor. Hot dog, let's go. And we went. And then Segal Chatta got involved. And then next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, churches are open, right? At least the same capacity as everything else. Casinos, big box stores, a whole 50%. Remember the circles on the supermarket floors where these numbnuts stood in? I always walked into people's personal circle space with no mask and watched them hyperventilate. It was part of the cleansing process, okay? But my point I was going to say before I went a little, excited, the masks. I was just flying to Texas. This dopey family, okay, this psychopath, literally, you got to say this. These are sociopaths now. If you're still forcing your children in masks almost 5 years later, you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I'll tell you why. Every study you can read now, if you're not changing these masks every 10 to 15 minutes, they are absolutely harmful to you. You're breathing bacteria. You're not getting the few oxygen. Go look at what constantly depriving yourself. And there's some people I know, not going to say anybody, but in areas I work with still wearing these things. Go look up the toxicity you're creating for your body when you're breathing this carbon dioxide again all day, not getting fresh oxygen in, wearing a mask on your face, rebreathing it. You're hurting yourself. It's a fact. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So anyway, we fought back. We punched hard against this stuff, right? And so I'm just telling you guys, right? This is so important. This is what Americans decide against. We were lied to by the fake news media. We found out Mark Zuckerberg writes a little letter. Hey, they pressured me. I had to censor Ivy League trained doctors. The doctors from the greatest medical institutions on this planet, in this country, were censored. All right? And there's been hearings all of Ron Johnson, Senator Johnson, who I got to work with. You guys, you don't understand this. A lot of you people don't know everything. Some people know I was, the first guy, in the fight during the pandemic. I was on Zoom calls with Dr. McCullough, Dr. Malone, okay? Dr. Merrick, some of the very best doctors, Ryan Cole, okay? All these guys, I'm leaving out tons of names, but they're all out there, all right? There's so many of these. Dr. Gold, that led the charge, right? They lied to, they censored them, they threw them in prison, they charged them, they did everything they could to punish these people. And if you don't think that happened, you're crazy. But what's so important about all this, okay? What's so important about all this is that the American people rejected the censorship. They rejected giving billions of dollars overseas when you can't give more than $750 to the people in Hawaii and $750 to the people in North Carolina. Crazy. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff stuff, right? Okay. So this is what they were doing. Right? This is what they were doing. And everybody said enough is enough. Then they tried to convince you, and they're still trying to do it right now. They're in for a very rude awakening that men should be in women's sports and that the girls that complain are somehow transphobic or Zionist or whatever, racist, or they come up, doesn't matter what they call them. They just start throwing stuff at them. Okay. It's crazy, man. It's real to see that they wanted you to ignore your eyes, ignore common sense, and say, okay, so if someone's born as a man, as I like to say, if you're born with a DICK, you're not a chick. Now, if you say that out loud, it rhymes. And it's actually kind of cool. It's one of my favorite things to say, but I don't want to get banned on here. But if you're born with a PP, you're not a woman, right? If you have XY chromosomes, you're not a woman. Now, someone said something to me today. Someone I respect, someone I put in a category up here was, oh, it should be on a case-by-case basis. No, it shouldn't. Why? Because men have larger lung capacity, stronger muscles, bone density, everything. They get that. Why do you think, let's just take an example, women's volleyball. Why do you think the net in men's volleyball, I think it's either 6 or 8 inches higher? Why do you think that is? Because men can jump higher. And if this wasn't true and why this can't be on a case-by-case basis, why don't we see women going and beating men for their Olympic medals? Because they can't, right? That's why Serena Williams years ago said, Andy Murray wants me to play him, but it wouldn't even be fair. It's like a different sport. I would lose 6-0, 6-0, 6-0 in 10 minutes. Fact, my daughter, who busts her ass, trains, awesome little athlete, she goes to the IMG Academy, tells me, Dad, it's like a different sport. Those boys hit so hard. That's the way it is. Hello? So they tried to push that on you. They tried to tell you there's unlimited genders. You can be whatever you want. And if your child decides tomorrow that they're a girl, you have to affirm that and say, I agree, sweetheart. Let's get you to a doctor to give you some puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones. And then when you turn a little older, we'll get that double mastectomy for you. No, they're not going to do that, guys. You lost that battle and you're going to keep losing it. And now we have a mandate to ram it down your throats so it never comes back. And we're going to. We're absolutely going to. I told you all this was my hill to die on. And so you'll see people on my Twitter account. They'll say, oh, Joey, you're just this, I don't know what they say, that I'm this bigot and I hate trans. I don't give a thing. I don't care. I'm indifferent. Be whoever you want to be. But don't think because of your delusions if I want to say I'm Batman and run around and tell everybody I'm Batman, are you going to believe me? Are you going to start calling me Batman? Are you going to play along with my insanity? No, you're not for a second. At least no reasonable, practical person would. I don't have to believe you and then call you a different name and tell me my eyes are lying to me that you're a woman when you're a man with an Adam's apple and a deep voice and all those other things. And again, those are those. But I don't care. On the part of being in my daughter's locker room on her sports team, if you were born a man, if you have XY chromosomes, you don't get to play with the girls. That's it. So why am I going down this road right now? And I'm going to try and keep this as one of the shorter lives tonight. But why am I going on this road right now? Because I want to make it absolutely clear that this nonsense is done. The woke military is going bye-bye. The DEI crap, all of it is over. That's what got voted down on Tuesday, overwhelmingly. That's what I believe in my heart of hearts pushed it over the edge to a 5 million popular vote win. And that's a mandate. Now, what else got voted down? This green New Deal crap. I'm an outdoorsman, I guess you could say. I love Lake Tahoe. I want to see Lake Tahoe stay clean and beautiful. I want clean emissions and all this stuff. But you know what? This whole, phasing gas vehicles out in the next 10 years when no one can afford it, and the stuff we're seeing with the electric vehicles and the charging problems and the grid in California and all this nonsense, just take a freaking deep breath and stop your craziness, okay? This weather, this climate change nonsense, which we won't even get into, how everybody thinks, Joey, you're so crazy. I will tell you this right now, and I'll say it in some words, because if I say the actual words, they cut my feed, I get censored. Since Vietnam, actually long before, they did it majorly in Vietnam, but for years and years and years, our government has the ability to control our weather. This is a fact. When I was running for governor, I got to go out and walk these places and see the ground stations and see the computer programs of how they can actually, because of what they're dropping in the air, we won't say spraying, but when Robert F. Kennedy comes out and says, we're going to get the chemicals out of the sky that they're putting there, I think that should tell you everything you want to know. He was a Democrat. He's fought his whole life on making things more healthy and fighting for children and fighting for environmental issues. Okay. So when he talks about it, and I got tours of stuff and I got to see it, and they can actually put stuff up there, then between the ground-based systems and the stuff that they can actually direct the weather, push it forward, pull it back, and intensify it. All facts, all this stuff you can look up online. There's patents for it. It's everywhere. And we need to make sure that the silver iodide and all the other stuff, the stuff that's bad, we got to get it out of there. We can't have it. It's affecting crops. It's affecting groundwater. So you crazies out there that are all climate change crazy, they're doing stuff above you right now that's far worse than driving your car down the street. Okay. Our celebrities and all the people crisscrossing the skies in their private planes and all the nonsense. Okay. Just stop. I believe we should get as much as we can towards carbon neutral and away from gas, but they're never going anywhere completely. And you're right. Absolutely. Electric trains and electric this and that and the bikes and bada bing, bada bam. Okay. All for it. But just take a deep breath, you psychopaths. Okay. And the stuff you are seeing around the country, that is manipulation. The crazy stuff with the weather, like the Dubai stuff, hurricanes. Okay. It's all coming out. I believe Trump will be releasing it. Absolutely 100% fact. They intensified and messed with those hurricanes back east. Oh, and here's a good one. Trump came out and said that they were purposely denying conservatives and Trump supporters assistance after those hurricanes. Now it came out that they absolutely were, and it was a directive from FEMA leadership. So again, pretty much everything this guy has said has been proven true. Now, to just take you all back and wrap up what I'm saying here. Tuesday night last week was a massive victory. It was a mandate, okay, to shut the border, okay, deport the criminals. And again, I got to say this. I love Tom Homan. I hope we are very mindful about who we need to get out of this country quickly. It's going to take some time. Let's not be throwing people out that have been here, and grandparents and Tia and Tio and okay and those people, right? Let's take a deep breath here, and let's make sure that all these Venezuelan gang members and the MS-13, all these people, let's make them the priority and calm down. People don't know this. Barack Obama was referenced as the deporter in chief, over 3.5 million deportations during his presidency, highest out of everyone, more than Bush. So yes, Democrats, you do deport. All right. So everybody and it would take a long time to deport 3.5 million people, but Obama did it. So before you come unglued and unhinged and lose your everything on people, take a deep breath. But I am hoping that Kristi Noem and whoever we get through this process and that we do this in a priority basis, and we should spend the next at least 4 years, because it would take a long time, getting rid of the bad people, okay, the bad apples, and then we can conduct some workplace raids and whatever you're going to do. But let's focus on those people first. Now, what I was saying was the priorities, what the mandate is for. Closing the border, getting out the bad people, making sure the fentanyl stops coming in, the people coming across stop, because the rapes and all the bad stuff happening on that border, the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, all that has to end immediately. And we got to go try and find 350,000 children that we know about. Because if anybody knows anything about the federal government, the numbers double them. So if they say there's 11, there's 21 million, 22 million. If they say there's 365,000 kids missing, there's probably 700 and something thousand missing. So let's just be smart about that. Next thing, mandate, the energy. And you guys is Trump going to affect prices? Yes, he is. And this is where they did such a bad job. Okay. First of all, they did a bad job in slandering and putting down the fact that the president does absolutely control gas prices, because when Trump comes back in and gets these pipelines cracking again and energy production back again, prices for energy will drop. Fact. Okay. So that's going to happen, right? So cheaper prices for gas, cheaper prices in the grocery store. Okay. Cheaper prices, insurance, homes. Okay. Interest rates, all that stuff. That's going to help tremendously. That's what Americans voted for, but they voted to stop the wars, to stop sending money to Ukraine, to stop sending money everywhere else, especially countries that don't like us. All right. So that's what they voted for. You know what they voted for? They voted for, as I said a minute ago, no more woke stuff, no more woke agenda, no more DEI, No more boys and girls sports. No more pronouns. No more teaching transgender nonsense at schools. No more safe space. Okay. No more brave space. Sorry, Washington. That all is gone. And I'll tell you something. Get ready, because you're all going to come. You get in line. That's what's going to happen. You're all going to realize that that's not a protected group. Having a mental illness, thinking you're something else, and then taking opportunity away from the women that have been fighting for decades to get the fair treatment is not a win. That's not how we do it. Maybe you create them their own league. I don't know. I personally don't think, no, the men play with men. If you're not good enough to play with the men, too bad. Work harder. I don't care. Get a helmet. Life's tough. That's the way it works. So we've got to drill down on this. And I just want to say, like, understand what this mandate is for. But I actually think the Democrats are going to do themselves dirty. They're going to keep attacking people. They're going to have a hard time trying to communicate and message to Latinos with their nonsense. Okay, they are. And they're going to have 4 years, the Republican Party are, to take care of these folks and show them what it's like to come in under the tent and be part of the family. And I think we're going to do a great job. I really do. And I think that I think they're in big trouble unless there's a way, and I'll say this, I was telling you a second ago about conspiracy theory stuff in the sky that they're spraying. But, the other big thing, the vaccines. Okay, I got to be careful saying that. What RF Kennedy's talking about. You're going to see a major, because there's a lot of parents that have moms are very, very smart. They have that gut, that's those gut smarts, okay? The gut intelligence there. And they're just like, I don't know if this doesn't make a lot of sense. Like all these vaccines, and just they're smart, right? Just like they knew about COVID, just like they know about the Fauci ouchie for the kids now. Moms are smart. They also tend to not want to make an issue, create drama. But now, when they have someone to lead the charge, to breach the door, you bet your ass they're going to get behind them. And so you're going to see a big thing on medical freedom, okay? We need healthier food. We need the chemicals out of our food, our skies, and our water, the fluoride out of our water. We need better labeling. They shouldn't be able to put the products in our food that they're not allowing in Canadian food or food in the UK, where they have 4 or 5 ingredients on a box of cereal. Here, it's 80. Okay, because it's all garbage. So that's what you're going to see. That's what this election was about. People had enough. They were done being talked down to, insulted, and basically looked at and treated like they were stupid. That's the best way to say it. So you can't just call people racist and tell them you need to, vote for this because we tell you to, or you are a racist, or you're a misogynist, or whatever the hell they were doing. That was a bad messaging tactic, and it didn't work. So all I want to say here, guys, is this. Huge election, mandate. And again, stand strong, stand proud for what went down. I love seeing all the Trump hats now. I love seeing all the pride, the American flags being flown everywhere. People had it. We were nervous. We had anxiety over this stuff. And now the last thing I'll say is this. This is a chance to clean up these elections once and for all. Here's the best part, guys. If it's not broken, and if it's not an issue, then no one should have any problem with going in, taking a look, and making sure everything's on the up and up. After what we just saw across the country with machines failing and code and updates and scanners jamming, why are we using these things? If we could have had the votes counted by hand by the next morning, and I believe that we can do it by midnight, if not sooner, but you guys want to use this electric stuff, these mail-in ballots and these machines, and we got to go a week till we have the vote, then it's a no-brainer. And every American should say, what do I care? All right. I'd rather have what's the most accurate? What's the most secure? What's the most accurate? Paper ballots, okay, voter ID at the precinct level. Done. That's it. Paper ballots, hand-counted paper ballots at the precinct level with voter ID. Done. It's over. And again, if we're wrong, what do you have to lose? So why don't we see what happens? Why don't we make these changes, and then we'll see how long it takes to count everything, how accurate they are. And if your way was better, we'll go back, but it's not going to happen. It's taking a week. Arizona's still not even done completely. And there are going to be lawsuits there, probably lawsuits here, and probably lawsuits in California. I think it's going to happen in Pennsylvania, just read something, and in Wisconsin, and probably Michigan. All the swing states, not including California, where Gavin Newsom is just a degenerate and purposely did a bill and passed a law not to ask for voter ID. We know why he did that. But again, I digress. I had to say that a few times tonight. The issue is this, guys. We have a mandate to do what the people of this country, what we the people want, and we're going to do it. And no one should feel the utmost bad. Listen, you nut jobs tried to run this country into the ground, okay? These open borders, this woke crazy nonsense, all this stuff, it just, and again, the schools, the actual breeding grounds of this woke ideology garbage. You guys, I mean, if you didn't get a message sent to you, okay, people are done with it. We need school choice. I hope Trump shuts the Department of Education 100%. Let the states take back over. Let it be at the county level. I have no doubt in my mind there's plenty of counties, especially in this state, that'll be just fine running the schools themselves without Washington weighing in. Okay? No doubt in my mind. So, exciting time. I'm pumped. I mean, lots of good stuff happening. I've got some things, percolating we might do, but I will never stop fighting for American people, for the people of this state, for medical freedom, okay, for school choice, for better insurance for everybody, all this stuff, lower prices, okay, a safer community, our law enforcement. Oh my God. I almost left it out. People voted overwhelmingly for law and order, for the crime that's happening across this nation. Let our police do their jobs, and we're going to. Absolutely. God forbid I ever get in a position where I can back law enforcement, because I'll tell you something, the nonsense I've seen, how they are out there putting their lives on the line and don't have the support. Now, listen, there's bad cops everywhere, just like there's bad lawyers, bad dentists, bad doctors, bad teachers, bad everything. There's always going to be bad apples. But overwhelmingly, our police, men and women, are awesome, okay? And most importantly, they're not as liberal and snowflaked out candy ass like the fire are, okay? And I got fire guys on every side of this deal. Love my fire guys. They're just a little, you know what I'm saying? They're a little dainty, all right? They're a little more picky, right? So again, what we saw here in this country is to support our law enforcement, okay? Support parental rights, medical freedom, okay? No more woke crap. Shut the border, make the prices lower, do a better job, okay? Very, very simple. Stop shipping money overseas, help Americans, rebuild this country. Before you go rebuild other countries, rebuild this country. So God bless America. We're making America healthy again with RFK. And oh my God, I didn't even have a chance to get into the appointments. We're going to hit 45 minutes, so I'm going to sign off. The appointments Trump is picking for his cabinet, good golly, are we going to do some amazing work? I'm so excited. I just want to say, listen, to all those of you out there, to all of you out there whose election didn't go your way, take a deep breath. You're going to have lower prices, cheaper gas, safer streets, better schools, okay? A closed border, more money in your pocket, no woke crap, and things are going to be just fine. No one's coming for you. You're not going into camp. If you're lesbian, gay, or bisexual, you're going to be fine. And as a matter of fact, we welcome you. And nobody got any problem with that. As long as you're not forcing anything down anybody's throat, dancing around naked like a crazy, no problem. We got you. We love you. So God bless you. Let's stay in the fight together. Like everything you can here. Share this. Go on the Twitter. Okay. Go on Instagram. Share the post. It's important to stay in the fight. Listen, and I'll say this, I was kind of leaving this. I still got to say this. I think they're being too nice. I still think we got some headwinds in front of us. That Jamie Raskin from Congress said they were not going to certify the vote. Donald Trump would never get in. I think they're going to play some games about using that 14th Amendment, that whole insurrection, which is all BS. And again, guys, you don't have to take my word for it. All this stuff on January 6th is going to come out. That's why they don't want Trump in. January 6th, RFK, COVID, all this stuff is coming out, right? It's all coming out. But stay strong, okay? Keep your eyes open. I do think that they're going to do something to try and prevent Donald Trump from assuming the office and being in the White House whenever they certify that vote. And he needs your prayers. So last thing I'll leave you with, please say a prayer for our president, for his family, for everybody helping him right now, everybody getting appointed to his cabinet. Pray for everybody. They need your prayers right now. And pray for the crazies out there, okay, that they could take a deep breath, lower the temperature a little bit. It's going to be okay. All right, guys.